Hello everyone and welcome to the final day of our takeover. We are the National Space Academy and we're taking over the National Space Centre social media. We have been talking to some really exciting people all week. My name is Nat, I'm from the National Space Academy and I am here with Conrad Gillespie, who is an expert in space, business and entrepreneurship. Hi Conrad, how are you doing today?
Yeah, not too bad. A glorious sunny day outside, so I hope you and everyone else as well.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? Really nice. So I was wondering if you could start off by just introducing yourself and maybe telling us a little bit about what you do.
Yes, so I'm Conrad Gillespie. I work for the University of Exeter, but I manage the Southwest Centre of Excellence in Satellite Applications. And I've got a few slides just to give an overview about what we do.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. If you would mind showing us those.
Okay, right, let's get this going. Okay, can you see my front slide? Brilliant. Okay. So I'll start afresh. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all well. As mentioned, I'm Conrad Gillespie. I work for the University of Exeter and I manage the Southwest Centre of Excellence in Satellite Applications. So the global space market is predicted to reach £400 billion by 2030. And the UK is aiming to capture a 10% share of that large market. The UK government has high aspirations for the space sector, having committed significant investment to build national capabilities, support STEM initiatives, and grow international collaborations. Space is also becoming more commercial and innovations are being accelerated with a wealth of ongoing funding opportunities from the UK Space Agency, European Space Agency, Innovate UK, DASA and other key funders. So here is the current UK space ecosystem. It is led by the Satellite Applications Catapult, UK Space Agency, and also the European Space Agency, ESA. The network connects regional centres, including the Southwest Centre, and the new space clusters are being developed throughout the UK as we speak. The Southwest plays an important role in the thriving UK space economy. The region has strong environmental focus, leading the way on cutting-edge space-related initiatives and is home to Spaceport Cornwall, Goonhilly Earth Station, world-leading research organisations, associated innovation ecosystems and STEM technology hubs. Our aim is to help to grow the Southwest Space Cluster by supporting innovators and researchers to develop and commercialise space technologies and satellite applications. Centre partnership includes the University of Exeter, Falmouth and Plymouth, and our coverage includes Cornwall, Devon and Somerset. We have a number of critical friends, including the UK Space Agency, ESA Space Solutions, Spaceport Cornwall, Virgin Orbit, Goonhilly Earth Station and Aerospace Cornwall. And we also collaborate with other regional business support initiatives and some are listed here. So we engage with the whole of the space ecosystem to help businesses to commercialise upstream space technologies, including advanced materials, emerging technologies, clean energy and space law, for example. And we also help wide-ranging downstream satellite applications for non-space sectors by empowering products and services with Earth observation, satellite communication and navigation services. So within the Southwest, our key downstream focus areas are e-health and e-wellbeing, because satellite applications have a crucial role to play in improving how healthcare and wellbeing services are being delivered. by providing remote monitoring and early diagnostics for people living in remote and rural locations, for example, and facilitating enhanced medical decision-making services. Also, marine and maritime. Data from space is vital for the maritime industry, including tracking the location of vessels and seagoing traffic for the sake of safety and economic efficiency. But it also provides a very important role in monitoring the marine environment and its sustainability, tackling climate change and problems like tracking plastic waste in oceans, for example, aquaculture, and also a current project that we're involved in is around green energy and floating offshore wind farms. Within the mining sector, satellite technologies can create operational efficiencies while empowering local communities and improving environmental sustainability and reducing waste. And natural capital, which could include agri-tech, land management, food production, remote sensing data can unlock the value of our natural capital, and that can lead to wide-ranging social, economic, and environmental benefits, because we have a real focus on environmental impact and helping to mitigate that. These are some of the projects we get involved in. We collaborate in diverse, wide-ranging projects. So there's a connected healthcare project led by Goonhilly Earth Station, and this is all about using satellites for people living in remote locations in Cornwall and Scotland to be able to have live video feeds with their doctors to help them using data, IoT sensors to help them manage their health problems. So they don't have to move, they may need to shield, so they don't go to GP surgeries or put a burden on hospitals, for example. The Cybership Lab, managed by our Marine and Maritime Lead for the University of Plymouth, and this is all about maritime cybersecurity, which is a big challenge in the area, and satellites and space data can help with that. We also help Spaceports Cornwall and the supply chain development there. So they're going to be building a centre of space technologies, for example, and hopefully if it all goes well, we'll be launching from May next year. And then there's some mine-related projects, so including Deep Digital Cornwall programme, satellite-enabled battery metals exploration project, and others. And so what do we offer? What do we offer individuals with concept ideas? What do we offer startups, SMEs, any business and researchers? Well, here's a list of some of our offerings, and it includes horizon scanning and insights around key market challenges in health or space, for example, and any funding opportunities coming up. We can help to connect people, to coordinate collaborations with key stakeholders. We also have open space hubs, which is a network of collaborative offices and hot desking facilities that we can provide startups in the region to accelerate their innovations when it is safe to do so and the time is right. We have thematic specialists in focus areas mentioned earlier. We also have a range of business support programs, like a business incubation program for startups and people with concept ideas who want to develop a tourism app, for example. We also run challenge workshops, and we have technical experts, again, to help innovators accelerate their innovations. And we also foster project consortia for collaborative funding proposals, which can really help startups get funding they need to develop their particular idea to actually turn it into a really successful business. And that could include opening the doors to international collaboration and global domination. So if you'd like to get involved with the Southwest Space Cluster or the Satellite Applications Catapult, we're happy to explore ideas and opportunities with you. So let's connect, because we're here to help. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that overview there of what you guys do as a company. So I find it really fascinating. When you think of Cornwall, Devon, Somerset, you don't necessarily think of space instantly. So why do you think the Southwest has become such a hub for space?
Well, really good question. The key space assets down here are without a doubt Spaceport Cornwall, and there's real exciting developments going on there. So going forward, if anyone wants to do design, get involved with electronics or build components for space assets like satellites, they could be part of the testing. They could help with the launch and all the other supply chain and activities going on. That's a big growth area. But also Goonhilly Earth Station, go and check out their website on Google. They've got huge satellite dishes, so they do mission control. And also they have got a data center there and a space AI facility. So anyone interested in data science related activities using Earth observation, for example, to help with climate change and environmental impact, that is a really good place to go as well. And again, they have lots of engineering capabilities and opportunities going forward. And then also, because I work for the University of Exeter, we have a campus in Exeter and the Falmouth area. So we have environmental researchers and physics and engineering researchers, for example, and you have Falmouth and Plymouth with lots of marine innovations going on. And this all taps into the direct space sector, but also space, as mentioned before, we can really, really help other sectors using data to help manage transport, health, and other big challenges.
That's great, thank you. So you did talk a little about it bit in your presentation about the businesses and the type of businesses that you currently work with. But we've had a question come in from Sean, and he wants to know what's the most unusual business, perhaps, or maybe with the least obvious space link that you can think of that you've worked with.
Well, it just that's an interesting one, because we've had people with space-related concept ideas, and they are very far-reaching. We are talking some of their designs helping us populate different planets and different galaxies, totally out there. However, a really good example is there's a couple of girls that were students at Falmouth University, nothing to do with space. One was training to be an accountant, and the other one was in marketing. And as part of a session at the university, they had a brainstorming session to talk about different ideas. And they were talking about the problem that they had when they went to the Eden project down in Cornwall. It's a nightmare when it comes to queuing in the summer. Can we think of something that could help that scenario? So their idea was actually coming up with an app, and it's a tourism app. And yeah, so what that means is when people go to the Eden project or any theme park, they can use the app, and the Eden project can see how many people are in the park. And if people are clustering in a certain area in one of the domes, oh, that's really, really busy. People are having a nightmare. They're queuing for 3/4 of an hour. What they can do is send incentives to the app, to the user standing there, saying, if you go to the Mediterranean zone, for example, 25% off lunch. Oh, wow, let's do that. And it spreads the load. And then that means that the people visiting these sites have a better experience, and it's less queuing and it's more flowing. It's a tourism app, but it's purely a space related application. And because of that, they came on our Space Tech Business Incubation Program, found out a hell of a lot about using how to grow a business and how to form a business. And then we invited them to the UK Space Conference, and they won Pitch to the Primes in front of hundreds of people. And in the evening, they got their award presented to them by Tim Peake, the British astronaut. How cool is that for developing a tourism app?
Wow, that is so left field, isn't it? You would not associate these things with space necessarily. So we've had a question come in the comments which links really nicely. So if someone did have a fantastic idea like this, where is the first place they should start if they were interested in setting up a startup like this? And thank you, Sophie, for that question.
Yeah, okay. So different universities have different student related programs. So the different universities that you're thinking of going to, find out what programs they do. But then also we can help with people, basically undergraduates and postgraduates, if they want to start working for a particular company. You have different internships, and they're really popular. So there's a space related one called SpinTerns, and you can Google that. But then also there is other programs that help people have ideas and want to turn them to a business. So Falmouth University, they have a Launchpad program. Also, we have a program that can help once they've finished being a student and stepping out to the wild world, and we can help them with opening doors and other funding opportunities. So have a look around about where you'd like to go to and what programs do they offer. Some of them are local, some of them are regional, and some of them are national.
Great, thank you so much for that. So one of the topics that we've found we've got quite a lot of questions on is sustainability and the environment. I think it's really nice to see that the young people that get involved in this, that's one of their priorities. So how do you think what you do can impact on the environmental challenges that we're facing?
Yeah, really good question. And from our point of view, it's all about environmental impact from the downstream satellite applications point of view. So we have these satellites creating very regularly really high resolution images, but it's not just images, it's radar, it's hyperspectral information and multispectral. And what that means is eyes from space can look down over large areas, and you can monitor the health of crops. So we know what type of plants and how healthy they are from space. It's really cost effective. And by merging that with other data from drones, for example, sensors on the ground, you can build up a really powerful picture of what is happening and what needs to change. And then also we get involved with other projects, so around using satellites to monitor the carbon levels in oceans. Also other things, you can track illegal logging, for example, plastic waste in sea. We can track oil slicks, and using satellites, we can identify and trace it back to the naughty ships putting this oil into the ocean. So that is really, really beneficial. And when it comes to natural capital on the land or in the oceans or coastal monitoring, we can really, really help. So using satellites, you can measure the melting of glaciers. You can track the fires in Australia that happened a few years ago and other environmental disasters. And by using satellites, you can help with communities to work out how to recover from these particular disasters. So you can focus on human health, but not just humans, the environment and wildlife and animals as well. And we can track different types of animals in Africa, for example, yeah, it's endless. So just think, basically data and eyes from space can look around different areas of the planet, and we're getting to a level of the data is so high resolution, and that's going to improve. We've only just opened up the world of possibilities, and you can help.
So we've had a question come in to the comments from Jakob, and Jakob has asked, what would you say to someone that says we spend too much money on space exploration?
Okay, so that's again a good question, because obviously NASA landed their rover on Mars, very successful. It cost $2.2 billion. What is that all about? However, there is multiple benefits. So one is about the different technologies used, and that can be applied to other sectors. So in the space industry for the last few decades, lots of innovations are basically being commercialized, and we are now using them. So a lot of the technologies used in our smartphone, for example, came from space-related exploration projects. But also thinking further ahead, the humans, we are here on one planet. What happens to that planet with an asteroid attack? So if we have different colonies on Mars and the moon and explore further, because humans are just natural explorers, we can mitigate the problem of this world potentially getting wiped out. Our species will still survive, and there's other benefits as well.
And one of our space engineers, Yuri, he would like to know what do you think the advantages of commercializing space technology are?
Okay, so that means it opens the doors. So we are in an era of new space. And so there's lots of commercialization and small enterprises. So there's companies doing really, really well, and there's only one or two people in that particular company. And so you can be part of the space supply chain, really small micro companies or SMEs or bigger primes. In the past, it was big space agencies like NASA. They held all the funding pots, they did everything private. So by opening up, it opens up different markets, and that means that a lot more people can benefit, and also the access has gone down, and things are more cost effective. So by reusing space rockets that SpaceX have been doing, for example, great, but also in the world of data and digital, again, things are dropping in price. And if you put in cloud technologies and data science and AI, that means people can develop really powerful apps for smartphones, for example, and be part of this commercial growing markets everywhere.
So as space becomes more commercialized, it links quite nicely into a question that Barney, another of our space engineers, has asked. He wants to know, what do you think we can expect from the space sector in the near future? Do you think it's going to change a lot over the next few years?
It's definitely going to grow. So the UK government is a big fan of the UK space sector, and I think Google it. They came up with an announcement today about additional funding and more support for the UK space sector. The map that I showed you before is the national space ecosystem at the moment. But I mentioned there's different space clusters around the UK getting funding to scope out how they can get involved. So the capabilities in the Bristol and Bath area, or the northeast of England, or elsewhere in the UK, what capabilities do they have? And it could be engineering, it could be other things, to help with UK Space PLC. So it will definitely grow. It's a really good sector to get into. Here I am living in South Devon. Many years ago, I was a Master of Engineering at the University of Exeter. I worked in lots of different sectors, including the water sector. And here I am now working in the space sector. And there's lots of different opportunities for people working with data, or really passionate about the environment, or want to work in the mining sector, or other things as well.
So Sophie has asked in our comments, would you say that data or technology are going to be the bigger growth areas within the space industry?
I think it's both. So the diagram that I showed before, if you think of the space ecosystem as upstream and downstream. Upstream is about all the activities to get assets launched into space to do a job, which is pretty much collecting data. So all the activities, including designing those space assets and getting them launched and everything that comes with it, that's classed as upstream. And there's a big growth area. So if you're an engineer, technology, digital manufacturing, 3D printing, anything like that, great, upstream. So that's a big growth area. But I think there's a bigger growth area around data and digital and using space data. And so, as mentioned before, if you want to develop apps using machine learning, computer vision, AI, that is a big growth area as well. So people with coding skills, data analysis skills, and also using the data to actually tackle big problems.
That's great, thank you so much. So we've discussed how we think the space sector is going to grow and how it's going to change. And I think it's a really exciting time for anyone who wanted to get involved in this area to get into it. So what would you say to a young person who was hoping to start their journey in a career in the space sector?
Okay, well, there's lots of information out there. So Google, keep an eye out on the UK Space Agency, also the European Space Agency, because it gives a bit of a flavour of what the future looks like. And so, for example, there is a big growing area around space resources. So I can see going forward, different innovations and autonomous robots working in a mining and extreme environment setting. Those technologies, how can they be applied for the moon, Mars, mining asteroids? And these are really being thought about and developed now. Also, how can these autonomous systems help with space debris, for example, and capturing that? And so have a look, and also the satellite applications catapult website. Definitely keep your eye open and keep an open mind in terms of what you'd like to do as a career, because in the space sector, there's lots of different jobs and roles that you could do. It could be marketing. Like I said, you could have a real focus in environmental intelligence, for example. And if you want to be an astronaut, great, but it isn't just about space-related science fiction. There's lots of different roles, and that will grow. And in 5 years' time, there'll be different roles and jobs that didn't exist. My job right now, 5 years ago, it didn't exist. Literally didn't exist. And in the future, there'll be other opportunities as well.
Fantastic advice there. Thank you so much for that. So the final question, and I've asked everyone this week, but if you could, would you like to go to space?
Yes, I like the idea of it. Yeah, I'm not up for the training or everything that needs to happen. But if I was invited to be launched on a Virgin Galactic space plane from Newquay Airport and just touch the heavens and skip around the space to experience weightlessness in a zero gravity environment, yes, I think that'd be absolutely fantastic and definitely something to tell the grandchildren.
Indeed, it would. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Conrad. It is greatly appreciated.
No worries, absolute pleasure. And if anyone's got any questions, I had my email address there, and looking forward to you hopefully being part of this really exciting, growing UK space sector.
Thank you so much. And thank you for everyone's questions today. Just a reminder that we've had these space Q&As going on all week. So if you would like to catch up, you can head to the National Space Centre's YouTube channel. We have one more left to go tonight, so please tune in at 5:30 to discuss exoplanets. If you have any questions for us later, you can get in touch on Twitter at UK Space Academy, or you can head to our website, nationalspaceacademy.org. Thank you very much for listening. Cool.